What happens when you mix Jennifer Tilly on tilt, a tequila, fueled table, and Phil Hellmuth itching for a classic rant? Tonight's episode of No Gamble, No Future is an absolute roller coaster. Epic showdowns, heated arguments, off-the-cuff comedy, and wild spins on the infamous Wheel of Pain. So strap in, poker fans. I'm about to break down all the drama, the showdowns, and what really went down between these high-stakes personalities, right to that juicy ending. The stage is set in the glitzy Poker Geo studio, with Jeff Platt and Brent Hanks narrating as the main event unfurls. The lineup couldn't be stronger. Phil Hellmuth, Jennifer Tilly, Nick Wright, Ethan Klein, Taylor Lightning, Wilson, Rips, Dad, and Joe Stapleton. Right off the bat, the mood is competitive, playful, and totally unpredictable. First, we're thrown into a 100-bomb pot, setting the pace for the wildness to come. Phil Hellmuth gets the action going with a huge 2-pair hand, but, as always, is quick to let everyone know how unlucky his opponents are when they lose money to him. There's this immediate back and forth between Phil and Nick Wright, who share some history at the table. Nick ribbing Phil about a previous hand, and Phil's trademark, white magic, always generates juicy banter. Exactly what poker fans tuned in for. But the episode quickly becomes Jennifer Tilly's show. Early on, she goes on a steamy rant, claiming, no matter what, I'm playing the next hand. I'm steaming. Her commitment is real. She raises blind, doesn't even look at her cards, and banters with Nick Wright about whether to raise blind as well. The table's irreverence and willingness to gamble make the episode feel like a wild home game rather than your standard, stiff poker show. As the hands fly, it's hard to keep track of the chaos and comedy. Ethan Klein, famous H3 podcast host, keeps cool and conversational, but finds himself up against the wall multiple times. First, he loses a massive all-in with ace-queen to Rips, ace-king, doubled up because they decide to run it twice. Despite his optimistic spins and the promise of the lucky wheel, Ethan walks away from that hand down, chips sliding toward Rips, who emerges in his No Gamble, No Future debut as the big winner so far. The action just doesn't let up. Next, Phil Hellmuth has to don a Stapes t-shirt after spinning the wheel, a hilarious fashion punishment to match his legendary presence. The banner about whether the shirt is old and ratty or if pre-loved only adds to the lighthearted vibe. When Phil spins, everyone roots for the silliest, least valuable prizes. Watching Phil and the rest of the table mug for the camera in matching shirts while cracking jokes about Poker Geo, cameo shout-outs, and their own careers is peak poker variety entertainment. As the episode builds, Nick Wright sets one of the most impressive poker traps of the night. After extracting revenge on Phil Hellmuth with pocket kings, Nick's sneaky check on the turn sets up Hellmuth, and the river delivers a third 3, giving both players a full house. But Nick's hand is best, and he's able to raise for value, snapping off Phil on the river for 6 zeros, and the table erupts. Brent narrates the tension, and Nick is awarded GTO Wizard of the Day for this professional level play. It's a textbook poker moment, and Phil's reaction is classic, alternating between self-congratulatory logic and classic, so unlucky complaints. But the swings just keep coming. Jennifer Tilly catches fire again, bad beats fueling her steaming tilt phase. At one wild point, she bets blind, literally, without looking at her cards, takes on lightning in a hand that's played more for entertainment than strict poker value. and ends up folding after a big raise. She laments not getting there with her draw, joking about sexy little draws, and missing the hilarious rabbit hunt for the river card. The episode is packed with poker knowledge and inside jokes. Table talk touches on everything from cameos and wedding shout-outs, family references, pop culture, and PokerGeo sponsor plugs to the agony of folding strong hands and the eternal hope of spiking a winner on the river. Your dad joins the banter, lightning reminisces about vices, and Joe Stapleton is the king of running gags about cameos and comic books. In terms of pure poker, the biggest pots of the night involve wild swings and emotional beats. Ethan Klein, down and out, faces Nick Wright again for a top pair versus a turn straight. Ethan, trying his best, can't hold up and loses another chunk of chips. There's plenty of friendly clowning about hand histories, calling with 7 and sacrificing chips for family. When Jennifer Tilly makes a straight, Lightning calls her massive river bet, but ultimately folds his trips, a disciplined laydown that's instantly debated. The table can't agree if it was a good fold, but Jen, gracious yet cheeky, tells him to buy something nice for his kids with her gift. But hands aren't just about money. The infamous Wheel of Pain is always lurking. Low's a big pot. Spin the wheel. Will you have to wear ridiculous goggles at the table, do jumping jacks, put on a silly T-shirt, or accidentally score a coveted main event ticket? Rips gets goggled after one monster win, finding this a true pain for poker fashion. Others narrowly avoid shame or luck into pain. When Joe Stapleton doubles up all in with ace, queen versus tens, he wins both runeouts and cheerfully spins the wheel, landing on 50 jumping jacks, which he gamely knocks out, showing off in front of the laughing Tequila tipsy table. But the real backbone of the show is Phil Hellmuth's classic rants. Whenever he tries to explain a tough beat or justify a hero call, the table erupts, laughing and rivaling his logic. The mix of strategy chat, trash talk, and friendship is genuinely heartwarming for poker fans. Phil complains about running bad, folding queens, getting called with ace-7, and having his rants constantly interrupted. The Hellmuth experience, in full swing. The atmosphere is electric. Everyone's gambling, laughing, complaining, and feasting on the social side of poker. Nick Wright's aggressive moves, Jennifer Tilly's tilt-driven gambles, Ethan Klein's tough breaks, Rip's steady run good, and Stapes' comic relief make it a true ensemble episode. So how does it all end? The episode wraps with Stapes fulfilling his wheel punishment with 50 jumping jacks, hitting the double birds pose, cementing the tone for the night. Competitive fun, physical comedy, and poker hands that matter less than the experience itself. The winners and losers are secondary to the friendship, the jokes, and the gusto everyone brings to the table, making this one of the most entertaining, memorable episodes of the season. To sum it up, see Season 7, Episode 14 of No Gamble, No Future. Hits every note, sick hands, tilting bluffs, wild wheel spins, Tequila, fueled antics, Phil Hellmuth's iconic drama, and real poker skill. Nick Wright shines as the GTO wizard, but it's the chemistry, energy, and unpredictability that make this episode shine. If you loved this recap, let me know your favorite moment down in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more in-depth recaps, and share this video with your fellow poker fans. What did you think of those wild wheel spins, Phil's legendary rants, and Jennifer's blind bets? Join the conversation, and I'll see you soon with another No gamble, no future? Breakdown.